Find the last 10 questions of your practice. Let me just make sure it's recording. Yes, it is. And this day we're going to do 7, 10, 11, 20, 25, 22, 31, 32, 41, 42. 7 is the first one. So again, go through your list here. And then first of all, distributed property not present, combine like terms, yes. So I'm going to rearrange this. Right, so my like terms are together, so I move this guy and this guy closer to each other. Negative 4 plus 6 is just 2x, right? There's more positives. And then minus 3 equals 5. So now this becomes a very simple two-step equation. Variable x multiplied by 2 minus 3 equals 5. So going backwards, I'm going to do plus 3 and then divide by 2. Can I do this in my head? 5 plus 3 is 8, and 8 divided by 2 is 4, so x equals 4. Let's see if that really is our answer. So let's show our work using inverse operations. So it's plus 3 here, plus 3 here. These two go bye-bye, the 2x comes down, 5 plus 3 is 8. And then it tells me to divide by 2, so I'm going to divide this by 2 and this by 2. And truly x equals 4. Yay. Substitution, it's minus 4 times 2. I don't know why I did that. Minus 4 times 2. Minus 3 plus 6 times 2 equals 5. Let's see if that works out. Negative 4 times 2 is negative 8. Minus 3 comes down. Positive 6 and 2 is plus 12. This doesn't look good at all. What did I? Oh, it's because x is 4. Did I tell you it's early on a Saturday? So it's negative 4 times 4 minus 3 plus 6 times 4 equals 5. So let's substitute it now. Let's do this again. This is going to be negative 16, right? Negative and a positive. Minus 3 comes down. And then this is plus 6 times positive 4 is just positive, and 6 plus 4, 6 times 4 is 24. Let's combine these two guys first. Negative 16 is the same plus negative 3, so I get negative 19, right? And then plus 24 equals 5, and then I can clearly see that this does equals 5. There's more positives over here. How many more? 5 more. Good. Number 10. I can combine like terms. There is no distributed property, so I'm going to go combine these two guys. Negative 7 equals n. Negative 2 plus 3 is positive 1. This becomes a one-step equation. Yay, even easier. So I'm not even doing the story this time. I'm just going to do minus 1 here and minus 1 here. These go out. Negative 7 minus 1 is negative 8. That's it. Substitution, negative 7 equals negative 8, right? I'm going to substitute it here. Minus 2 plus 3. Negative 7 equals negative 8 minus 2 is negative 10. Then I have to do plus 3. Negative 7 equals negative 7 plus 3 is negative 7. So we are all good here. 10, 11. No distributed property. Combine like terms, yes. So 6 plus 3n stays, waits a little bit. And then n plus 5n is 6n. Next, can I combine like, I already did combine like terms. Can I do, is there a variable on both sides? Yes, there is. So I have to get rid of either the 3n or the 6n. Doesn't really matter. So I'm going to get rid of the 6n. So if I get rid of the 6n, I have to do minus 6n. And I have to do minus 6n here. 6n minus 6n is 0. 3, so this 6, let me bring that 6 down. And then 3 minus 6 is negative 3n. Right? Because you get 3n minus 6n. You can rewrite this as 3n plus negative 6n. There's more negatives, right? How many more? 3. team. They're on the negative side. Now, I will do my story for this one. I have a variable n, which is being multiplied by -3, then add 6, and that should give me 0. Going backwards, I'm going to do -6, and then divide by -3. Let's see how that works out. First thing, -6. So -6 over here, -6 over here. These two go out. -3n comes down, and 0 minus 6 is -6. Next thing I have to do is divide both sides by -3, and you can tell why, because I want this, my n, to be isolated and positive. So -3 divided by -3, right, it's just become 1, and 1 times n is n, or you can write 1n, or just simply n. This side divided by -3 again. Negative divided by negative is a positive, and 6 divided by 3 is 2, so n equals 2. Let's do our substitution here. It's 6 plus 3 times 2, right? I'll put it equals 2 plus 5 times 2. So wherever you see the n, you're substituting. 6, 3 times 2 is 6, and that gives me, it's going to give me 12. That's nice and easy. 2 stays. 5 times 2 is positive 10. And 2 plus 10 is 12. So we're good here as well. 11, 20. Distributed property, no. Combine like terms, yes. So on this side, I can combine -8b plus 3b. There's more negative, so my answer is going to be negative. And how many more negative? It's 5. 5b. On the other side, I can't combine, right? These two cannot combine. Now I have variables here and a variable here. So you can figure out which one you want to get rid of. Let's just pick one. Most of the times I pick the smaller b. Right, but this time, let's get rid of this guy here. So -6b, to get rid of that, I have to add plus 6b. And I will add plus 6b over here. These two will equal to 0, so I don't have to write it, but the 8 I do. And -5 plus 6, if you think about -5 plus 6, there's more positives. How many more? 1 more. And if you can write 1b, or, because 1 times b is just b, you can just write it as b. So b equals 8. Well, that was easy. Substitution, -8 times 8 plus 3 times 8 equals 8 minus 6 times 8. So every time I see a b here, I replace it with 8. Negative times a positive is negative 64. These are two positives, so positive 3 and 8 is plus 24. Equals 8. Minus 6 and 8 is going to be negative 48. So those two should equal each other. Let's do this side first. You can look at it at 8 plus negative 48. There's more negatives, so it's 40 more negatives. Negative 64 plus 24 is the difference, right? There's more negatives, so my answer is negative. And how many more? 40. So negative 40 equals negative 40. So we're check on this side. So that was number 20. Number 25. It's really probably for sure. So it's 126 equals 6v. Positive times a negative is a negative 24. Positive times a positive is a positive. 6 times 4 is 24v. Distributed property check. Combine like terms? Yes, there is. So let me do that. I'll put them next to each other. This guy and this guy. Plus 24v minus 24. 126 equals 6v plus 24v. They're both positive, so it's just adding 30v minus 24. It is a two-step equation now. I can make my story. I have v, which is being multiplied by 30 minus 24 equals 126. Going backwards, I will do plus 24 on both sides and then divide by 30 on both sides. So it's going to be plus 24, plus 24. And These two go 0. This becomes 30v. 126 plus 124 is going to be 150. Check. Divide both sides by 30. And this becomes 1 times v is just v, and 150 divided by 30 is just 5. So v equals 5. Let's substitute. So it's 126 equals 6 times 5 plus 6 minus 4 plus 4 times 5. Right? Because this v and this v got replaced. 126, 6 times 5 is 30, so I can write that. Plus 6. And inside the parentheses, it's negative 4, and plus 4 times 5, positive 4 times 5 is positive 20. I'm going to write plus 20. That stays. Don't add this because they're multiplying, right? So 30, and the 6 is still waiting. Negative 4 plus 20, there's more positives, it becomes 16. 126 equals 30. Don't add, like I said. So 6 times 16 is, I don't know, 6 times 6 is like 36, and then 96, right? And then 126 is 30 plus 96, 126, hopefully. And we got our answer. 22 is next. Series property, yes. Negative 105 equals a negative times a positive is negative 14x. Negative times a positive is negative 21. We have a variable x, which is being multiplied by negative 14. Subtract 21 gives you 105 negative. Going backwards, we're going to do 21 plus on both sides, and then divide both sides by negative 14. So let's do that. Plus 21. Plus 21. These two go out. Negative 14x comes down. Negative 105 there, so it's more negatives, right? There's more negatives. My answer is going to be negative, so it's going to be negative 84, right? Because we're subtracting those numbers, there's more negatives. Check. And then we're going to divide both sides by negative 14. Divide this by negative 14. Divide this by negative 14. Negative and negative is positive, so I get 1x. 1 times x, or just simply x. Negative 84, negative 14 is 6, and x equals 6. Check. Negative 105 equals negative 7, and then 2 times 6 plus 3. Negative 105, that's done, so I'm just going to write a couple here. So negative 7, and inside the parentheses, I have 2 times 6, which is 12, and then I'm going to add 3. Negative 7. 12 plus 3 is 15. And one more line. Negative times a positive is a negative, and 7 times 15 is 105. Was that 22? I hope so. 31. So 31. The series property for sure. Negative and the positive is negative 12x. Negative and a negative. Negative and the positive is negative again. Negative 2. Plus 2x equals negative 14 minus 6x. So the series property is gone. Combine like terms? Yes, I can. So it's negative 12x plus 2x minus 2. I put the like terms next to each other. And let's combine these two guys. My answer is going to be negative because there's more negatives. And it's going to be negative 10x minus 2 equals negative 14 minus 6x. Combine like terms, check. Variable. Is there a variable on the left side and on the right side? Yes, get rid of one of them. I don't care who. Let's get rid of this guy. Well, let's just for a change, let's get rid of the big one. So plus 10x plus 10x. These two is 0. Negative 2 comes down, equals negative 14 comes down, and negative 6 plus 10, there's more positive, so it's going to be positive 4x. The one advantage of getting rid of the 10x here is because we get a positive coefficient. So that's something that you might want to consider. Here's a variable x multiplied by 4, subtract 14, gives you negative 2. Going backwards is plus 14 on both sides, and then we're going to divide by 4. So let's see if we can do that. So we get plus 14, plus 14. These two go out, 4x comes down, and negative 2 plus 14 is just 12. That's a check, and now we divide both sides by 4. Divide by 4, divide by 4. And x equals 12 divided by 4, 3. Now comes your favorite part, which is a check. So I get negative 2, 6 times 3 plus 1, plus 2 times 3, right? I'm replacing the x with 3, equals negative 14 minus 6 times 3. Negative 2, 6 times 3 is, they're both positive, so not much worry. 6 times 3 is 18 plus 1, that becomes 19. These are two positives, so positive 6, 2 times 3 is 6. And this side is negative 14, and negative 6 times 3 is negative 18. This one is easier. Negative 14 minus 18 is negative 14 plus negative 18, and that's going to give us negative 32. So hopefully we get negative 32 on the other side. Negative 6, so this is multiplying negative 2 times 19 is negative 38 plus 6, and negative 38 plus 6, guess what? It equals negative 32. So our check is just fine. No idea what number is. 31. So 32 is next. 7x minus 14. We're going to apply the distributive property over here. 7 times 5 is 35x. 7 times 6 is minus 42 because this is positive and that's negative. Combine like terms? Nope. Let's get rid of the small guy this time. There's a variable on both sides, so get rid of this guy. Minus 7x, and then minus 7x here. These two go bye-bye. Negative 14 comes down. 35 minus 7 is 28x, and minus 42. Now it's become a two-step equation, which I can write my little story, and then I get x as my variable, times 28 minus 42 equals negative 14, right? Because that's exactly what I have. Going backwards, I'm going to add 42 to both sides and then divide both sides by 28. Okay, here we go. Plus 42. Plus 42. These two become 0. 28x is going to come down. And negative 14 plus 42, there's more positives. And how many more positives? 28 more positives. Check, divide both sides by 28. This one's going to be nice and easy. And x is going to be 1, because 28 divided by 28 is just 1. So substitution looks like 7 times 1 minus 14 equals 7, and inside 5 times 1 minus 6. 7 times 1 is 7 minus 14, and 7 minus 14 is the same thing as 7 plus negative 14. And 7 plus negative 14 is negative 7. On the right side, it's 7, and then 5 times 1 is 5, minus 6, yeah? Then it's 7, and 5 minus 6 is negative 1. And 7 times negative 1 is negative 7. We're good here as well. We got 2 more problems. I know you're going to miss doing all these problems, so no crying. 41. Yikes. What does it have to be? No, not that bad. Distributive property first. Yeah, 3 times 6 is 18r. Positive times a negative is a negative 15 plus 2r. Equals 3 times r is 3r. 3 times negative 5 is negative 15 minus 5r. So the first thing we did was distributive property. Second, combine like terms. Let me put the like terms next to each other, 18r. And this guy will be side by side. On this side, I'm going to put the 3r and the minus 5r side by side and bring this guy all the way to the back. Let's combine them. 18r and 2r's over here, up to here is 20r minus 15. On this side, 3r minus 5r, right? This becomes the same thing as 3 plus negative 5. There's more negatives, so there's 2 more negatives. And don't forget the variable. And then minus 15. So distributive property, done. Combine like terms, done. Is there a variable on each side? Yes, there is. So let's get rid of the 2r here. So on this side, I'm going to do like my division line here, my wall, not division line. Plus 2r, and then plus 2r here. By doing that, this gets eliminated, leaving me with just minus 15. 20r plus 2r is 22r. Bring down the minus 15. So now it's a two-step equation, which I can make a little guide map. So I have a variable r, which is being multiplied by 22. Subtract 15 gives me negative 15. The inverse operations I will use, I'm going to do plus 15 to both sides and then divide by 22 to both sides. So first thing, plus 15. And I'm going to do plus 15 here. If I do that, these two become 0. This 2 becomes 0. I don't need to write that 0. But I'm going to have 22r over here. Next thing so this is a check. Next thing I have to do is divide both sides by 22. So let me just rewrite that. So I have 22r equals 0. So I'm going to divide this side by 22 and this side by 22. 22 divided by 2 is 1, which I multiply with r, gives me just r. And 0 divided by 22 is just 0. So the value of my variable is 0. Yay, makes substituting so much more fun. So let me go to my equation. Clear this out. No, I'm not going to clear it. So I'm going to clear this out now. So every time I see an r, I'm going to replace it with 0. So it's going to be 3 times 6 times 0 minus 5 plus 2 times 0 equals 3, 0 minus 5 minus 5 times 0. Okay. So let's see if we can do this a little faster. So 6 times 0 is 0, right? Right, put the 3. 6 times 0 is 0, and 0 minus 5 is negative 5. 2 times 0 is 0, so I don't even have to write that down. So this just becomes 0. It's going to disappear. Over here I have 3, and then 0 minus 5 is, again, negative 5. Right? And then minus 5 times 0. 5 times 0 is just 0, so this thing is going to go out. And you can tell the left side equals the same thing as the right side. 3 times negative 15 is negative. Negative 5 is negative 15. And 3 times negative 5 is negative 15 as well. Okay? That it? One more. Negative times a positive is negative 24b. Negative times a negative is positive 56. Negative 4, and then this negative 2 times b is negative 2b, and negative 2 times 3 is negative 6. Distributive property check. Combine like terms. Is there anything to combine? Yes, there is. So negative 24b plus 56. Nothing to combine there. But on this side, I have negative 4 and negative 6. And I'm just going to do this on the side here, which is the same thing as this. And there are 2 negatives, so it's going to be a bunch of negatives together, and that's going to give me negative 10. So negative 4 and negative 6 is negative 10. And then the minus 2b, I'll just write it here. Is that a b or 6? That's a 6. Okay. Let's get rid of one of the variables. There's a variable. So distributive property check, combine like terms check. Now we're talking about the variable. So I have a 24b here, negative 24b here, and minus 2b. So I'm going to get rid of this plus this 2b. So I'm going to do plus 2b on that side. I'll do plus 2b on this side. These two go bye-bye. Negative 10 comes down. And then negative 24 plus 2b is negative 22b plus 56. I can do a little story. I have a variable b, which is being multiplied by negative 22, add 56, and that's supposed to give me negative 10. Inverse operations, negative 56 plus 22. It's going to give me some answer. Let's see what happens here. So first thing we have to do is minus 56, minus 56, and minus 56 here. These two become 0. Negative 22b comes down. Negative 10 and negative 56 is negative 66. I am going to now divide by 22, so not add. Divide by 22. Divide by 22. Divide by negative 22, by the way. Sorry. Negative 22 divided by negative 22 is positive 1, and positive 1 times b is just b. Negative 66 divided by negative 22 is going to be positive 3. So my answer is 3. Let's see if that works out. I got negative 8, 3 times 3 minus 7, right? So I'm replacing this b and this b with 3. So equals negative 4 minus 2 times 3 plus 3. Let's take these two expressions and see if they're equal to each other. So negative 8, and inside the parentheses I have positive 3 and positive 3. So that's 9, right? 3 times 3 is 9. What's 9 minus 7? 2. So that's all I have left over there. On this side, negative 4 stays, just waiting. Negative 2 is going to wait a little bit. And then 3 plus 3 in the parentheses is 6. Negative 18, negative 8 times 2 is negative 16. On this side, I have negative 4, which is not doing anything yet. So I have negative 2 times 6. Negative 2 times 6 is negative 12. Negative 16, and then again, if you want to rewrite this as an addition, this is what you would get, right? Change the subtraction to addition and do the additive inverse of 12, which is negative 12, and you can see that both sides do equal each other. Yay! I just did 50 problems in 5 days. All right, so that's it. Hopefully that helped.